AI is the current topic of the day. Almost any day that you want to talk about investments, it's all about AI. Or robots. Robots are coming too. In fact, if we were on the East Coast, we'd see a lot more presence of them running around. And we have driverless cabs. They're present.
We've
Where
got
we
those.
where we don't expect to see robots so often would be in our doctor's office. We're thinking that's going to take some time, but the post doctor meeting shows up in a pharmacy, and robots have already arrived. They have beat you to the pharmacy, and Walgreens has a massive adaptation program, as does Kroger and a couple others. My name's Don Creech.
And I'm Perry Sykes, and welcome to the Investor Resources Podcast.
So, how does a pharmacy use a robot? The last thing that you want to do is look at some couple of eyes on a machine and ask them, well, what do I need to know about this prescription? I mean, what do I call you?
Right?
It seems a little impersonal to be getting my drugs, my legal drugs, across the counter from a pharmacy.
Right. Right.
Wanted to clarify that.
At least the pharmacy's got a building. The illegal drugs, most of the time, you just got to meet in a parking lot, so it's not nowhere near as nice. So yeah,
So
but
we
it's true. The pharmacies, the automation is coming. It's just automation. It's already there. Um, we were talking before we started on my pharmacy is a small family run. They've got two pharmacies. That's it. They're a two location chain, and they're already on their second prescription filling robot. It's a huge machine, and like I said, they've already upgraded. This is the second one, and so they are. Walgreens is saying they can increase their volume by over 100% a year and reduce costs at the same time. So that's a huge cost savings. And from my local experience, it's got to be true. A small pharmacy would never invest in something like that to be able to say, "Hey, look at us. We're really techie." It's like, no, our pharmacists now have time for counseling individuals, or more and more giving vaccinations and all sorts of medication that doctors used to give out. And now it's like, oh, no, go get that shot at a pharmacy. You need a flu shot, go get that at a pharmacy. And so they need time for that. Well, guess what they can do? They can automate all the prescriptions. Human beings may not even touch one until your pill bottle is filled, capped, labeled, and delivered it shows up there at the pharmacy. They sort them to make sure every customer is getting the correct one, but that's it. They don't have to do any of that, and that frees them up for more time with the patient now, not instead of the customer. And it's a huge productivity plus, and that's kind of one of the ways that AI and robotics infiltrates an industry. And if you're not paying attention, you won't even notice. You won't even notice that that's what's going on. Walgreens is doing it on a massive scale. They have huge fulfillment centers with huge numbers of robots inside that will produce the prescriptions for multiple states of Walgreens locations at a time, and then ship them back. So it's very scalable, and it's here now, and it's going to be you're going to see that more and more in more and more applications. And when you think about, well, it's already in something like the drugs I need to not die. um, they think they're pretty accurate. They think they're going to be okay doing that, because they already are, and it's going to expand from there, not get smaller.
Well, the robots actually have some built-in fail-safes so that if they end up with a wrong size bottle, wrong colored bottle, that
Yeah.
the robot recognizes that and stops production. I mean, it shuts things down. But you think about, why do they need to do this? Well, there's a number of reasons. And one, the companies exist to make money. Not
Sure.
all employees believe that's the reason that they exist. That's the reason that they have a job, is the company wants to make money for the shareholders who have funded the operation. That's capitalism at work. How are you going to do
Right.
that when you have mandated wage increases in blue states saying you're not paying your employees enough? You have to pay them more. Well, if you're going to stay in business, that means you have to raise costs, or you either have to raise the cost of the goods, or you have to lower the operating costs. One of the two.
Right.
You can't survive with continually raising wages and the cost of other products without a price adjustment. So what happens is you reduce labor, you end up with reduced internal costs. That allows you to pay more wages where you need to. And the companies, the major companies, also get paid off of insurance. Well,
Sure.
they have the same problem that your doctor does. The insurance companies are squeezing them, saying, "You're doing so much business, we don't want to pay you as much as you've been charging. So if you want to keep the business reimbursement coming from our insurance company, you're going to have to charge less. We're just simply not going to reimburse you that much." Well, if you're not getting reimbursed your expenses, you've got to do something else to cut costs. And so the robots help that. Many pharmacists actually say, as doctors have done, enough's enough. I'm going to go private. I'm not going to take insurance anymore. And in the
Sure.
pharmacy business, they become compounding pharmacies. And the
And
regulators don't like compounding pharmacies because they
right,
can't control them to the degree they can with
they
the
don't
big
know
box stores.
exactly what they're doing, and it's not. This is not just a blind leap of faith. The Walgreens started this in 2021, and then they stopped in 2023 to assess what they were doing. Say, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And after that assessment, they were like, oh, this is not a good thing. This is a great thing. And now they say they're going to have 11 fulfillment centers around the country servicing 5,000 stores. 11 fulfillment centers are going to do prescriptions for 5,000 Walgreens branches, 16 million prescriptions a month. That's a lot. And they're just rolling. They're like, yep, this is working great. We're in. We're going to expand, not contract. So it's like it's not just working. It's working great. It's freeing up our human employees to do more things with our customers instead of staying behind the counter and putting 20 pills from the big bottle into the little bottle, which is essentially what they're doing. And then they give it to you. Well, the robot does that now. It's automated. Most of the problems are out of the system. They had problems with bottles with 6 pills in them instead of 26, and that's a problem. That's not something that helps. Then that takes an adjustment. But those are already being taken out of the system. Like I said, my little local pharmacy is on their second prescription robot. So, and these things are huge. It's about the size of, I would say it's the size of 3 refrigerators side by side, and because it's full of all sorts of drugs, and then and bottles, and it sorts them, bottles them, caps them, labels them, and gives them to the pharmacist for double checking still. But the savings in not having to hire human beings to do that is immense, and so that's going to continue more and more, and the number of human beings required to produce just the pills that they need to put out are going to continue to shrink. Other services are going to become more important to the pharmacy business.
Well, it's across the counter interaction with the customer that's really the one that cements the relationship and keeps people coming back.
Sure,
Now,
sure,
maybe if it's the only one in town, you don't worry about it so much. You know they're coming back because you're the only game in town. But that's
right,
not the way the business actually works today. Even your local store has its own branch. And
correct.
they want people to come back. You've been going to that store for decades. I mean, it's and
Longer than
you
I
know
could
the
tell you
people
that.
there.
And they ask me what your name is, and I'm always kind of like, oh, well, you're new, aren't you? I've been I've been coming here for longer than you've been alive. So yeah, like, oh well, good for you. What's your name? Yeah, okay. So, but yeah, that's the difference. They want people in that client facing mode, and not paying somebody to be essentially doing what has become a warehouse function. You know, getting the bottles prepared. It's like all those prescription preps done for them, and it's a huge increase in productivity and lack of waste. Machine makes far fewer mistakes, and it's a huge decrease in cost. So those are two pluses that cannot be ignored, and they're not being. They're coming to a pharmacy near you if your pharmacy is not already engaged in it.
So the only difference is probably if you go in with a prescription, say, I need to get this filled, where if you look really bad enough, the pharmacist could take a break and go back into the shelves and grab a bottle and fill your prescription. You'd watch the pharmacist
Right.
count the pills into your little bottle.
Yep.
The odds of that happening today are slim. At least they're slimmer because you're going to have to wait for the robot to process that. However, on the upside, the odds of a bad interaction because you're
Right.
mixing drugs, the,
Yep.
the computer already knows what you're taking unless you're lying.
Right.
That could happen. But it knows what you're doing and knows whether or not you should be taking this drug with that drug. And
Sure.
if that's a problem, it's going to alert the pharmacist to do some counseling with you and to verify with the physician. So this is automation in action, and it's going to continue increasing. It's no different than driverless cabs are increasingly popular in the towns where they are operating. You're going to
Correct.
get used to the brave new world, if you will.
It is, and it's going to continue to expand. It's just like I say, my local little pharmacy. If I need a refill, I get on the app. I don't even call them. You get on the app. It's got all your medications listed. It tells you when they're supposed to run out. You just click, click, click. I need refills on these. Hit send, and they're there the next time you come in. Probably didn't go to a person. That data entry that I just made, it went to the robot. The robot filled them. There was nobody in between. It's a huge increase in efficiency, and like you said, Don, and in safety, because they know everything else on your list, and they're never going to forget. They check it every time to make sure that there's nothing contraindicated in handing out this drug to you. And so it seems to be a plus 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 so far. It's anything that increases productivity that much and decreases costs, that's going to find its way into a business, and that's not coming. We're there. So welcome to the future. I hope we enjoy it.
Well, basically, it's the same kind of thing. We are already interacting with. We know that McDonald's started using a centralized menu ordering process. If you drive up to and place your order,
Yep.
in the Midwest, those orders were processed in a central location. They weren't processed by somebody inside the building.
Right.
They may have finally cooked the food and handed it out the window, but the actual ordering was done through a central processing location. And you go into some restaurants and you don't actually order your food from the wait staff. You order it off of the tablet that's on the menu or on the table.
Table. Sure.
This is just an incremental way of getting us used to the transition to automated processing in every phase of life.
Absolutely.
Don't like it.
You have to get used to it. You have to get used to it. I don't know about you, Don, but I have been at the restaurant and had to be reminded. You just pay on the tablet there. You don't have to wait for a check to come.
That's
Oh yeah, okay. I knew that. Of course I did. Yeah. And then you can pay and leave. But it's a brave new world out there, and it's coming fast.
So thanks for being with us. We have more topics that are on our list to cover. We're building more podcasts. So subscribe. If you want to talk to us about your portfolio and what we do in processing the differentiation between leaders and laggards and rotation in your portfolio and rotation in sectors and market conditions, give us a call, send us an email. We'll be glad to spend some time with you. Have a great day and stay tuned for more to come.